Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis Legacy. The sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. BNC, or Black News Channel, shut down its operations yesterday. Now, your BNC was a channel founded by your J.C. Watts and your Bob Brilliante, and it received an investment from Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shad Khan, who invested over $50 million in an effort to make BNC the black equivalent of CNN or MSNBC. Unfortunately, your BNC never really connected in spite of being in over 52 million homes across the country and being put on channels on numerous cable platforms such as Spectrum, Dish, Verizon, and Comcast. In spite of being in millions of homes on numerous cable providers, your BNC could not gain an audience in 2 years, and it couldn't gain the audience because your BNC oftentimes presented a lot of slanted news that basically was very left leaning. Now, your BNC, in spite of again being in 52 million homes, was only able to reach only 10,000 viewers according to Nielsen data. And when you look at those numbers in proportion to the $50 million that Shad Khan had spent, it is absolutely embarrassing because it shows that your BNC could not even reach as many viewers as popular YouTubers like Mr. Superboy, Professor Black Truth, or The Business. Your Professor Black Truth, Mr. Superboy, and The Business get more than that number of views on their videos, and it just is embarrassing to see that your legacy media, in spite of spending millions of dollars, could not even reach the same audience and could not even have the same influence as YouTubers. But what this shows is the power of new black media and that more and more black Americans are listening to new black media. Now, your new black media, which are many of the YouTubers out here, they are having an influence over black people and they are changing the narrative of the media in the black community. Now, I've always said that those who control the money control the media, and those who control the media control the narrative. And you don't need a lot of money to control the media and the narrative, and that is being shown to us by what's going on with new black media. Those in new black media, yes, we don't have a lot of money, but we are having a major influence on the narrative of the media. And we're having such an influence on the media that people are now turning away from your old legacy black media, like your BNC News, and looking to your new black media because most people are tired of hearing the propaganda that is presented on platforms like your BNC News, and because we're tired of hearing propaganda on platforms like BNC News, we're turning to new black media for the facts. Now, your BNC News came out of the gate really bad, as I saw it in 2020 or 2021 when they did a report on Bill Cosby. Now, this report that they did on Bill Cosby was nothing more than pure propaganda presenting opinion as news. And in that piece where they went after our elder Bill Cosby, they tried to push the narratives that the white leftists wanted to hear instead of presenting objective facts that many in new black media found through research. And once people started to see that your BNC News was not about going out here and presenting facts to black people, that's why many black people tuned out of BNC News, because your BNC News wasn't a black news channel, No, your BNC News was a bootlick news channel. And as a black bootlick news channel, all it was about was going out here and parroting the narratives of white supremacists to the black masses in an effort to tell us what we should think. And most black Americans, we have moved past being told what to think by black bootlicks, and that was over 10 years ago when YouTube started becoming popular in black communities, when black people started moving over to new black media. Because when black people started moving over to new black media, we started listening to those out here who are in the streets, in the grassroots, and those who are out here and can present the true objective facts as related to a situation in the black community. And we're tired of hearing from these hand-picked bootlicks who just are from these top universities and go out here and parrot the narratives that your white supremacists tell them to tell us, and tell us that this is our news. We are past pushing those, listening to those kinds of narratives presented in the mainstream media, and this is something many in the mainstream media, they have a hard time connecting with. Now, with this, again, this BNC News, it was not our network, it was not black owned. Its mission was not about presenting black news, it was about going out here and trying to tell black people how to think, putting some black faces up front to parrot narratives, and going out here and trying to get black people to go along with white supremacy. And this is the main reason why your bootlick news channel failed, because black people are tired of hearing from bootlicks, and they're tired of having these bootlicks condescend to them and try to tell us how to think and try to tell us what our opinions should be, and trying to get us to follow a scripted narrative so that we can go out here and believe what they want us to believe, and go out here and buy into the ideas that they want us to buy into. And again, that whole era was over back about 10 to 15 years ago with the emergence of new black media. And with the emergence of new black media, we are seeing that your new black media is starting to have influence on foundational black Americans, because when foundational black Americans refused to watch your BNC News, it sent a message to the world that we no longer are buying into your mainstream media narratives. We are no longer buying into your ideas. We are no longer buying into supporting these white supremacist mouthpieces, and we are changing the narrative. And that is the thing that I'm seeing with the failure of BNC News. The narrative as related to black news is changing. The narrative as related to black media is changing. And what's happening is that these whites and non-blacks that were used to controlling the media for the last 70 plus years, they are losing power, and they're losing power in spite of controlling an oligarchy that they created back in 1996 with the Telecommunications Bill of 1996. Now, this telecommunications bill was designed to try to consolidate power in the media, and it was designed to make it where these owners would be able to control the media and control the narrative. However, the biggest mistake they made was making TV go digital in 2009, because that took eyeballs away from the legacy media, moved them over to the internet, and ever since they moved it over to the internet, new black media started to gain control over the media, and they started to control the narrative of that media. The narrative is currently changing as related to black media, and it's changing in a positive fashion, because we're seeing black people controlling that media, and now they're thinking critically about the media that they go out here and watch, and they're thinking about not going out here and supporting somebody just because they put black faces in front of us. And that's a good thing, because just choosing to watch somebody because they're black doesn't really mean that we're getting the truth about those stories. And we're seeing more black people go out here and vet the news that they're watching and the media that they're watching to ensure that that media is B1 and black first, instead of just going out here and blindly supporting whatever black person they're putting in front of them. What we're seeing is a major shift in black media to new black media, and black people supporting new black media, and really thinking again critically about who they are watching, what they are watching, and why, and making sure that that media is about putting the black image first and going out here and presenting narratives that are empowering to black people, not going out here supporting networks that are anti-black and promote anti-black racism with a black face, because that's what your BNC was all about. BNC was about promoting anti-black racism with black faces and promoting anti-black narratives on their platform with black faces. And they hoped to dupe the black community into watching these anti-black narratives and going along with them. But once black people started to pick up on how anti-black BNC news was, they decided not to watch your BNC news. And I had already had my fill of the Bootlick News channel when I saw them go out here and do an entire report where they bashed Bill Cosby and mocked him and presented opinion as news. That was the straw that broke the camel's back with me with your Bootlick News channel. And I had said I had had my fill of the Bootlick News channel after just one video, because in that whole video, it showed me that these were just a bunch of white supremacist mouthpieces who were just out here to parrot whatever narratives the white supremacists want, and that wasn't news. That was a white supremacist opinion, and it made me really appreciate new black media, because your foundational black Americans, we need to go to new black media for our news, because new black media is the only place where we're going to get our truth about narratives, truth about facts, and we're going to go out here and have news that represents us, represents our issues, and puts our issues to the forefront. And that's what we're getting on New Black Media. And your New Black Media is the place where black people are going. And just like Professor Black Truth had said in his classic videos, it's not about a lot of money. It's just a couple of brothers and sisters with a little bit of money. And we're having a major impact on the America's black media. And we're changing that narrative every day that new black media is out here. And we should all be proud to see that we're having an impact, because the fall of your BNC News shows us how high new black media is rising. Now, your new black media, like my channel, can't stay on the air without support, so I'm asking everybody to donate to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black media on the SJS Direct imprint, which features positive images of black people, you can pick up the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy on Amazon.com today. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. If you think you've seen scares, get ready for the horror of the hyena woman.